Yeah, Derek Greene.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
I mean, Derek Greene, you're one of my favorite humans in the whole world.
Wow, well, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and that mustache, like if I could get that thing running, you know?
I need a beard. That's it.
No, you don't.
I feel like I'm on Joe Rogan.
You do?
I love that show.
Well, why do you feel like you're on Joe Rogan?
Because you look so handsome.
Are you saying Joe Rogan's handsome?
He asks good questions, actually.
Does he?
He's smart. He knows like lots of stuff about a lot of different things.
Yeah, he's a great comedian too because he's so good with knowledge.
Yeah, I saw him, I think, in January.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. He's got an interesting body shape.
Does
like
he?
Like a silverback gorilla.
He's very, very rotund around the entire body.
He's got an interesting shape too.
And he can kick your ass.
I don't know if he could kick my ass. He might kick your ass.
Well,
He's about 5'4".
is he?
Yeah.
You know, but he's a highly trained MMA.
He is a lethal weapon, I'm sure.
But you think because of your size and stature, you could grab somebody of that size with that skill set?
I don't know. He looks pretty corded.
Yeah.
If you look at his muscles, he's like hard.
Yeah.
I'm soft.
When?
Right now.
Let's
Should
see
I
if
walk out that door?
Let's see if we can make it hard.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah. So Derek, listen, the podcast, the Come Up, appreciate you coming on. Love to hear about your entrepreneurial journey,
Right.
how you got here. So you're a local boy, right? From
I am.
Phoenix. Yeah.
McClintock High School.
Yeah. What are you doing now? Like, let's start right now, and then let's work back and see. So what do you do?
So right now, I am working at getting a management team of 5 people to kind of work together, chasing my dreams and my vision for what the company is. And
Yeah, what kind of company is
we
that?
have a white glove moving and storage company
Yep.
that performs high-level, complex, nuanced projects for high net worth individuals that have a 12,000 square foot home and they're getting rid of that, they sell that, and they're building something new, say on the side of Camelback Mountain, and they're going to need 6 months of storage. They need to liquidate 3/4 of their furniture that won't fit in the new home. They
Right.
need to pack up their Rideau glasses, their stemware, their art collections, and then we'll store all that stuff. So really, we're working for clients that you can't just call a 2-man in a truck and send 3 guys in a truck out. So
Right.
there's a degree of project management that's involved. There's wine, there's climate considerations, and usually the storage is a major piece to it.
Gotcha. So you're the bull in a china shop with white gloves on
That's right.
because you're an oversized man.
We have a lot of little guys though.
You do.
I find the little guys are softer, they're suaver, they move more delicately. I think delicate is we're delicate moving in storage.
Yeah.
So I'm not really about having the biggest, strongest guys, but the most conscientious, polished, engaged professionals
Right.
is really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. So it comes with a premium to get the high quality people, moving, service, storage.
Correct. I'm trying to develop a company that there's really only one. I'm the only guy that can do a project.
Right.
Because then I can name my price.
Right.
And I can, I'm in a low margin of entry business. Anybody with a pickup truck is a competitor of mine.
Yeah.
So I've got to develop a company that I can get that margin up over 3 or 4%. So
Right.
you have to be very niche.
Yeah. So it's a low barrier of entry to get into a moving company.
Correct.
You don't have to have big brains, you just have to have a truck.
Landscaping, cleaning ladies, all those businesses are low barrier of entry, low profit margin.
Right.
And I'm trying to be rich.
Yeah, yeah. So, so Derek, let's talk about how you got started in this business. You were a moving guy.
Yeah, bad decisions, drug problems.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just a mess. I was really a mess. And I was humping furniture this is my 6th year of community college.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last time I had been to class, and it was also my 6th year of delivering furniture for most of the furniture stores in town, because I was only employable for about 2 months before they were like, this guy has got to go. He's hurting my company.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is you were that low barrier of entry guy, right? So let's wind it back. So Derek grows up in Tempe, Arizona, right? Mm-hmm. And you're a young kid. At some point, did you have any before you got into high school or college? Was there any type of, or even in college, was there any type of hustle or any type of like entrepreneurial spirit or drive or like what anything triggering this route you're on now?
I had a pound of weed in my fridge for a good decade.
Yeah. Was it moldy?
It's not the same one. It did teach me about being on time,
Right.
showing up, having quantity and quality need to be the same. But for the most part, I only had one vision for my life, and that was to be a pro football player.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was a pro baseball player. And what I found was when shit didn't turn out right at 18 because I was immature and I didn't go to college, I didn't get to go to get my scholarship that I was offered. I basically lost my identity, I lost my self-esteem, and I filled that hole with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, what was your identity?
It was the big football. I was the best athlete.
Yeah.
Right? So I was the strongest, I was the best athlete. I got a very good football player, very good wrestler,
Yeah.
very good baseball player until I threw my arm out.
Yeah, you were a pitcher, right?
Yeah, and so I peaked early. I was the best pitcher in Arizona at 15.
Yeah.
I was the worst pitcher in baseball at 16 in the same year because I threw my arm out. So the point was that having no alternative interests really mixed with this kind of predisposition to drugs and alcohol and this loss of identity just really buried me.
Yeah.
And moving is a great job that if you got a drug problem, a lot of times you can get a job in moving because there aren't a lot of people going after that job. If you don't have a certain level of mental illness, why would you not go work at Best Buy for $12 an hour and stand in the cool air at 18 and sell cell phones and get spiffs?
Yeah, so you're in high school, you're the star athlete, everybody knows your name, everybody wants you to come hang out with them. You're obviously a very personable guy, you're a big guy, fun to be around, and so parties came your way and school was kind of on the back burner. Is that fair?
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't value education.
Yeah.
And both my parents were educators.
So you're not valuing the education, you're a star athlete, and you're getting looked at from schools for
New Mexico University of New Mexico was a Division I-A, and they had offered me a scholarship. And had I made it that far to the visit, I would have signed. I had a scholarship at NEU, but I thought I was too good for that. And about 2 weeks before the visit to New Mexico, I quit my wrestling team. I lost my first match after placing fourth in state my junior year, and I was like, I'm burned out from sports. My wrestling coach is my football coach. He tells the coach from New Mexico, they call me and they say, "You're out."
So you were spinning out your senior year.
I was already spinning out.
Yeah.
And he had told the coach I was selling cocaine on campus. That was a rumor.
Lies, I tell you.
So, point is, it was pretty much that was downhill from there.
Yeah. So you're already into hard drugs. You're selling weed. Your senior year in college, or your senior year in high school. So you're pissing away any athletic ability you have at this point.
Athletic or educational or just any kind of lifestyle at all. My mom worked at MCC, so I got to go there for free. And for 6 years I toiled, just taking classes and I smoked meth one time. I smoked meth every day for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I pretty went hard, but all the time being on a moving truck. And I had an opportunity to work for a company called Vintage Transport that was they basically were the West Coast branch of a company that on the East Coast essentially had the contract with Christie Sotheby's auction home houses. And so they delivered all the furniture, antiquities, artwork, sculptures that Christie Sotheby's. So I had an opportunity for a brief period of time to learn how to do some very high level moving and to kind of see what it looks like at the top. So I had picked up a buffet or something at a warehouse in Mesa. I was probably 21 or something. Maybe I was 20. And this guy had a gym in this warehouse. And my life is so far away from me walking into a gym at the time.
Yeah.
Or not smoking 2 packs a day, or doing anything positive with my life. But just at the very bottom. And I saw this, I was like, damn, that looks kind of, he's got the gig. If you're a mover, this is the mover I want to be.
Yeah.
So that just stuck with me for 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And I went and continued to burn my life down. Basically, my 20s were just a shit show.
Yeah.
But by the time I was 24, I was really tired of moving all this furniture for $12 an hour.
Right.
And it was 2005, and I was delivering for this kind of nice furniture store up in Scottsdale called Ladlow's.
Mm-hmm.
Still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all these designers and customers of Ladlow's were like, hey, can you move this over there for my cousin, for my sister? I'm sending this to consignment. Basically handyman moving of expensive stuff. And I'm like, this is not my truck, lady. I cannot help you with that. And at the same time, I had a buddy that used to work at Levitt's with me, which is the worst furniture and the worst place. That was where I was at night.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Oh my God. It's awful. So my friend had kind of gotten a contractor job there, and he was able to moonlight his truck. So I on one night, I went to the Tempe Public Library, and what is called is a delivery service. So there were these little delivery services I could see in the air park popping up, because all these little boutique stores, very similar to how it is now. Little furniture stores are out there selling a lot of furniture that don't have their own trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Ladlow's, who's kind of sophisticated, have their own truck service. So I was like, I could start a delivery service. That's
How old are you at this point?
24.
And you're still whacked out though.
I'm still blown out.
Yeah.
I get excited when I see a Portajet.
Yeah.
One of the new neighborhoods out there. So I went to the library, Tempe Public Library, read this book called How to Write a Business Plan. I can't even find it, because you put how to write a business plan in Google, see what you find.
Yeah.
So this yellow book said How to Write a Business Plan, and I just sat down, I read it from cover to cover, and at the end it says, now that you've written, and I did exactly what it said. It was just like a little playbook, blueprint. Sure. And I was high on math. I could remember right now, I was high on math, and I had the spiral notebook, and I'm just writing.
Yeah.
And
are you able to focus? Like I haven't experienced that. So like when you're whacked out like that, I mean,
this was the only,
you're functioning,
mostly focusing on your dick and playing with it.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
I mean, trying to find it, or that thing works on math.
It works good.
It does.
For me, I mean, it affects different people different ways, but for me, it worked
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this was the only productive thing I ever did on math. I wrote this business plan.
It's debatable.
Depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Monia, if you're out there, I'm sorry. At the end of the How to Write a Business Plan book, it says, okay, now that your dumbass wrote a business plan, go tell everybody you know about your business plan. So I'm the next day on the dock, loading. We got a Manny, Puerto Rican Manny running that dock. And I say, hey, Manny, I'm going to start a delivery service. Oh, you know who you should talk to? First person I told, oh, you know who you should talk to? You should talk to the other Manny. The other Manny does deliveries, out-of-state deliveries for Ladlow's, Robin Stuckey, which was a frickin' monster, and Thomasville.
Okay.
And then a couple other designers and Parney and Furniture, which is still around.
Yep.
So he's like, he's looking for contractors. So I go to call this other Manny up. I say, hey, let's go meet at the Outback. Well, in the meantime, I had been kind of doing these things. Like, I filed my LLC. I got my articles of organization paperwork. It was like handwritten.
Sure.
$85. I had opened my little Wells Fargo business account, right? So I was all ready to go, except I had a 1,500 pickup truck, and I needed this 3,500 Dodge.
Sure.
So I had to go back to my mom, like, Mom, I need you to co-sign it.
But where is mom this whole time, right? So mom's an educator. She wants you to go to school.
I've been hiding.
You're fucking off.
I've been hiding.
Yeah.
Basically, they haven't seen a lot of me because I don't want to be like.
But they know.
They don't know that I'm on drugs.
Oh, they don't.
Not badly.
Yeah.
They know I'm fucking drinking at Baseline Pub every night.
Yeah.
But they don't know that I'm smoking meth.
Right. Are you holding your size? Are you still a big guy?
I'm still probably a big guy, but I'm not like in any kind of shape.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever seen a bag of mashed up assholes?
That was you.
That was me.
Yeah.
But so I go to my mom. Mom, I know my credit's 400, but I need you to co-sign on this truck. And now I got to find this truck. So I have to search all far and wide because the guy's like, it's got to be a 6-speed. It's got to be a 2001 Dodge Dually. So I find this truck in Kingman, and I just started pulling off like one Herculean feat after another.
Yeah.
I sourced this truck. I figured out how to get my mom, talk my mom into co-signing, doing this trade in. Then I borrowed his trailer. He had a bunch of trailers, and I took this run to California. And I'd never driven a truck with a fucking 36-foot gooseneck trailer. I'd never even hooked one of these up. Honestly, if it takes more than a screwdriver, I gotta call somebody, like I gotta call a Guatemalan guy because I need somebody who knows how to use tools to do anything.
And Guatemalan guys are known for their tools?
They're pretty good toolsmiths.
Didn't know.
So he's like, here's how it works. You pay for your expenses. Each week you come back, I give you 75% of the shipment total cost. So this first run was $3,000. Well, I couldn't get over there. I didn't have any gas. I didn't have a hotel. So I go, Mom, I just need like one more loan, like $900. She gives me the money. I go on that run. I come back. I get my $3,000 for the week, which minus all the costs, I end up with like $1,000. I was like, okay, I just tripled my income in 1 week. So I go on another trip. So we basically loaded Mondays, and this guy Manny, this dude was a Marine, and he was a grinder. He had about 3 or 4 guys like me, and I put the drugs down for 4 months.
Okay.
Somehow, I recognized this is a chance you can't fuck up.
Yeah, so you're 24, 25 years old.
24,
You've been drinking, partying, having a good time, trying to get your life together, and you see Manny might be your way out of this this hole you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember a guy in Cleveland gave me a little bit of weed, but I'm driving.
Like on a delivery?
Yeah, like a customer, I delivered this. One of our clients was called Posh Tots, and they built these incredible kids furniture. And they built it in Texas. It's really, they're probably still around.
Yeah.
But I delivered this set to a guy in Cleveland, and he gave me a little bit of weed. And I was just so scared that the cops were going to catch me with this weed. I think I ended up throwing it out the window. And then I did have a beer one night. So in 4 months, I basically drove 3,500 miles a week. So figure that out. 60,000 miles.
About 60,000 in 4 months, yeah.
A lot of miles, and I didn't use any drugs because if I got spun out, I would have crashed. I would have been good for 5 days, but then I've been sleeping for 4 days.
Yeah.
So
not necessarily crash the vehicle, just crash your life.
Oh, I could have killed somebody too, for sure, 100%. All kinds of bad news. Plus, you're like, I remember one time I was like up by Yellowstone, and I was like in the wrong person's garage. I was sober because I was doing a night delivery to a homeowner, like an absentee homeowner.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm in the right house. I go start looking through the mail to find an address because I'm out in the middle of some fucking place in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I put the furniture in the right garage, in the wrong garage. So imagine you're tweaking.
Yeah.
Not good.
This is all rational thought process.
This is all bad news sober.
Yeah.
So anyway, my girlfriend, this trifling whore from Baseline Pub, Nicole, I'm sorry, she got pregnant.
From who?
I don't know, but she said it was mine.
Okay.
So I was abortion. Actually, I took her on one of these trips, and we were in Dallas when I found out she got sick. And I was like, well, we're getting an abortion. She said, okay, cool. And then I was like, something wasn't sitting with me right about it. Even though I knew from the minute I met this girl, I hated her.
Yeah.
Because her laughter was like nails on a chalkboard.
Sure.
That's not a good recipe. But I talked to my dad, and he's
But you're not that funny, so like, there probably wasn't a lot of laughter going on. Or was there?
I mean, she was in love with me. Obviously. So anyway, I talked to my dad, and he's like, you should just do whatever your heart says to do. And I'm like, fuck, I guess we're having a kid, so we have a kid. So now the baby's coming, so I'm like, I can't be on the road.
Right.
And I was renting this condo on Southern and Price, and I had this truck and trailer parked there, and HOA was busting my balls. And I was like, I gotta figure out how to get independent from Manny, because he's just gonna work me till I fucking die.
Yeah.
And he's still doing that. That guy is a badass. He was mad though, because I was probably his best contractor.
Yeah. So you got a kid on the way.
I have receivables.
What do you mean you have receivables?
So every week I would go do a trip, and some of the accounts would pay that week, and then some would pay 30 days, and then a company like Parthian or pays 60.
Right.
So I had like this little bit of, if I stayed on the road, my cash flow wasn't that great, but if I stopped going out and burning up all
spending the cash, yeah.
I was like, if I waited like 1 week, I'll have 6,000 come out and go find a trailer of my own. So I did that.
So you're looking at the short term, giving up a little bit of the long term, but you figure, hey, if I can go get my own equipment, if I can,
and I'll spend a
I
week
can pivot a little bit,
figure out how to get some local delivery work.
Yeah.
So
you're still sober at this point. You got a kid on the way.
Kinda, yeah. Now I'm probably smoking weed again.
Right. You got some cash in your bank account. You're feeling your dick's getting big again.
$2,000.
Yeah. Balling.
Probably.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I go to Joe, the guy that was at Levitt's, that was kind of moonlighting, and my buddy Dempsey was working for him, and Dempsey's like giving me the real deal behind it. Joe grew up in Maricopa and played for BYU, and he's still a good friend of mine. And
it's a match made in heaven, a Mormon and Derek Greene.
He's not Mormon, but he was a fucking total, imagine a guy growing up in Maricopa wearing Zubaks in 1992, right? Funny guy. So he was kind of a dumb businessman. So he would get his truck and trailer rocking, and then if he didn't have availability, he wouldn't answer the phone. So I was like, I say, just answer the phone, schedule a second. We would use these day planners, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we would just put 8 a.m. and you just fill the deliveries up. 8 a.m. to 10, you do a delivery, blah, blah, blah. So I said, just start another day planner for me. And I'll start doing that, and I'll give you 25% just for scheduling.
Yeah, referral fee.
So I said, oh, good idea. So
wish I would have thought of that.
So he does it, and I start getting this work. And then what happened was the main account, this consignment store is still there, Airport Consignment. They call me, the old owners, and they're like, we can't get a hold of Joe. I'm like, what's new? They're like, well, we're going to fire Joe. We want you to do it. I'm like, I can't really fucking do my friend like that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like a month in, 2 months in, and I'm like getting 2-3 deliveries a day. And I'm like, dude, if I can get 5 deliveries a day, I can go get, for lack of a better word, a Mexican full time. Because I was using basically whoever was stoned on my couch.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get up, bro, we're going. That was who my helper was.
Yeah.
Just whatever dipshit was around. So I get a full-time guy. So they're like, well, we're firing Joe anyway. If you don't want the work, we're going to find someone else. I was like, I'll take the work.
Yeah.
So, of course, Joe was mad. And then I walked into Stratford Court, which is another store on Cactus and Tatum.
All these stores are up by my house. They're all in the same area right there.
Yeah, Stratford Court's gone now.
Yeah.
But they had these fountains, these concrete fountains that were like between 3 and 7 pieces. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't find somebody dumb enough
to want to move those.
To move these concrete fountains for $100.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like literally risking your fingers every time.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do the fountains. Me and Pablo do the fountains. So me and Pablo figured out how to pretty much feet of engineering every day. How do you get this fountain into this yard in PV? Mm-hmm. And then then they started giving us their furniture deliveries. And then people started asking us to move them. I was like, I'm stoned, bro. I don't want to load the whole truck. Then unload the whole truck. I just pick up bar stools. Buffet goes to homegirl's house. I just wanted to do the lightest bit because now I am going back to my old ways. And my back started to hurt.
Yeah, how old are you at this point?
Probably 20. I think I did deliveries from 25 to 28, really, probably. And then we started pretty much moving into a moving company.
Like this addiction thing has been going on for now 10 years, right?
Oh, yeah. So so that's what happened next. The pills. Now we're in the pill era.
Right.
So everyone's doing pills. Everybody's taking pills.
Like
I don't get it.
Oxycontin.
It makes my nose itch. Yeah. So I didn't really get it. And then I kept trying it. And then one day
I just want this to work.
I took a couple Vicodins on the truck one day.
Right.
Because I was doing it when I was drinking at night.
Yeah, back didn't hurt no more.
And I was like, oh my God. And my back felt amazing.
Yeah.
And it just was like jet fuel for my engine.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I had this just completely renewed. It was like an upper.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
It was a total upper. And so for years, I was able to go on 2-3 Vicodin 10s a day. Then then I started doing like Percocets, and it just real gradual. And all this
doesn't seem like a big deal, right? It's like 10 milligram, 15 milligram. Okay, we'll go to Perks. Also, we're on Oxycontins.
It took about 3 years to find Oxycontin.
Yeah.
And all this time, my little business is like going.
It's chugging along.
I had a designer client that I was doing deliveries for, because we started doing deliveries for designers. So they would be like, hey, I'm buying furniture all over town at the design center. I need someone to pick it up and drop it off. So we started doing their deliveries, and I figured out how to. I got so busy, I was like, oh shit, I got enough work for maybe a second truck. So I got a box truck. Mm-hmm. So I had my truck, my trailer, my box truck. I got a 99 Freightliner. And just organically, trying to do every job really, really well. Mm-hmm. Trying to do everything possible to make every little client happy. Answer the phone, communicate, show up when you show up, do what you say you're fucking gonna do. That was a really simple one. My dad used to tell me, do what you fucking say you're gonna do. I swear he told me 10,000 times. And I couldn't achieve that until I was like 26 years old. And it was like this mantra in my head. Yeah. And I was like, I gotta just do what I say I'm gonna do. If I tell him to be there at 9, I gotta be there at 9. Whatever we gotta do, we gotta be there at 9. So, but at the same time, I'm getting super, super dependent on pills. And then I remember my first Oxycontin, I was scared of it. It was like 80 milligram, you gotta lick the stuff off. And I shaved the edge of this pill, I'm telling you. And I was high for like 8 hours when I snorted it. Because I snorted everything. I love to snort everything. And
you like the process of like getting it, chopping it up.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then the high hits, and you're like, okay.
When I would be going with withdrawals, and when I would decide, okay, I'm not going to try to quit, and I would decide to go get the dope, I would already feel better. Yeah. It was like amazing. So anyway, years later, I'd need 2 or 3 of that same pill, 5, 6, 7 times a day.
So you're snorting 160.
250 a day. Was the worst. $250.
Yeah.
A day.
But milligram wise, like an 80 is gnarly, dude. Like 30.
They don't even make it anymore.
30 will put your dick in the dirt.
They don't even make 80s anymore. I was snorting them all day.
Yeah. You snort all of them.
I was paying $50 a pill, 5 pills a day, 5 80s a day.
So you got to do your first 2 deliveries are just covering your habit.
Yeah, but the big distraction was trying to get enough of these really rare pills. That was 3 hours a day. Yeah. So I'm like,
you're just working.
All day. I'm smoking 2 packs a day. Yeah. I got a 6-speed, 36-foot trailer. This window's blown out. The back seat is trash. Yeah. Like you're just, Pablo's over here like scared for his life. He's like, I won't go back to Guerrero, Mexico. We're in Jerome with no trailer brakes. It's a fucking disaster. Yeah. And
going down.
Yes.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
Yeah, we were big time. And I what happened was, I think I just kept trying to stop because I was like, I can't be physically dependent. And I'll tell you where I had my moment of clarity was an accelerator. Somehow I got an accelerator. There was my only.
So Entrepreneurs Organization has a farm league, if you will, of young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs of any age that have $250,000 in revenue, started the company, the founder of the company, and you get sucked into a system where where they help you with the business building, they help you with the connections, they kind of help you get your feet under the ground with the hopes that they'll get you to $1 million or more, and then you can apply for Entrepreneurs Organization. And that was what opened your eyes to like, hey, there's something bigger out here than these drugs and what I'm doing.
Specifically, there was 4 quarterly classes that are still the same.
Yep.
And I was in a quarterly class. It was 10:30 in the morning. I was dope sick at Thunderbird Global School of Management.
What does dope sick mean?
Oh, you're about to have diarrhea. You got cold sweats. Your bones ache. I mean, it's a heroin. You ever see a heroin junkie?
Yeah.
That's how you feel. And there's only one thing that will touch it. Xanax won't touch it. Case of Heineken won't touch it. 4 blunts won't touch it. And I tried every combination to try to get off of opiates because I was like, I just got to get off of opiates. So I tried to quit over and over. I'd go through withdrawals for 2 weeks sometimes. And before, all of a sudden one day I'm like, I'm getting high. I can't do it. So I'm in this class, and so this is going on years of doing that.
Yeah. Where are we at now? What year is this?
This is so 2007. My only PR stunt I ever pulled off. I got into this 35 entrepreneurs under 35.
Who's who?
Yeah, something
if you
like
will.
that.
Yeah.
Biz AZ, 35 under 35.
Yeah.
And I remember my warehouse was this 1,500 square foot warehouse that a designer brought me a client. She's like, Derek, you charge this client like $1,200 a month, $1,300 a month to pack out her whole house and take it into storage. And you could probably go rent a warehouse. And I said, oh, okay. So I found a warehouse was $1,600.
Yeah.
I was like, I could pull off $300.
Sure.
That's 5 pills.
Yeah.
So I thought I had this thing full, super fucking full. And it was basically like leaning against the walls.
Yeah.
With like boxes dividing the people's shit. And the guy comes down and he's like, here to interview the guy that owns the Iron Movie Company. Where I'm snorting, $500 worth of Oxycontin a day out of my office and smoking cigarettes out the front.
Yeah.
Right? And he's taking a picture. He's like, oh, I kind of thought I'd see like pianos and shit. And I was like, oh, you fucking asshole.
What I look like, Liberace?
But honestly, what he was expecting to see is what I got now.
Right.
Right? But I didn't even have the vision. He had the vision down more than I did.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted that gym. That gym vision, that guy that I picked up from, it turned out his name was Alex Yost. I met him years later and I became friends with him. But where was I at? Oh, Accelerator.
Yeah, we're at this photographer.
Biz AZ comes and photos me for the Biz AZ magazine.
Where's the pianos?
A couple weeks later, Accelerator uses this list as the candidates for the recruiting for the first Accelerator class in Arizona.
Oh, no kidding.
So I didn't know what they were talking about. I was like, shut up, leave me alone. Then Mark McKeever called. Yep. And he's like, Derek, I'm the president of Micro-Age, and I grew up in Tempe. Yeah. Around all
You've seen the
big
building?
buildings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck is the president of Micro-Age calling me? Well, I just called to tell you that Accelerator will be really good for you. I'm like, really? All right, fine. So I gave him my $1,500, and about a year into it, I'm in this class, still fucked up on Oxycontin, and I look around and I gotta leave because I'm dope sick because I gotta go get some pills, and I'm like, cannot compete with these guys. Josh Simon was in there. Yeah. And I said, I gotta stop.
So you're now you're almost like, I guess in my mind I'm just picturing you like you.
It's me and 8 movers.
Yeah. In Accelerator?
No, in my company.
Right.
I got me. I got 2-3 trucks.
Yeah.
So 15.
But I'm just picturing you like now. The way I'm picturing is like you're seeing all these business guys. You're like maybe are we back in like a competitive mode of like, hey, I like is the old athlete in you drilling in?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They got like polished boots.
Yeah. You're like, fuck these guys.
I can't believe.
I will squash you.
I will snort you. So I started using these tools that Accelerator's teaching me to train this one dude, Donovan.
Yeah. Donovan, one of your guys?
One of my guys. And I said, Donovan, in 30 days, I'm going to give you my laptop and my Crackberry. And I got to check out for 30 days. Because I knew I could have put my pants on. And legit couldn't put my pants on.
Why?
Because in the morning, if I didn't have drugs.
I mean, like your back hurt, or you're just
Dude, you're just in a fetal position. You don't care about nothing. You just want to die.
You want to make it go away.
People run towards death with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Heroin addicts are knocking themselves off like crazy just to avoid this feeling. And I'm in it.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I said, I'm not going to be able to do anything for 30 days. So we kind of worked together to train him up on how to do the basics. Invoice,
take the phone calls,
estimate, schedule the dispatch, everything, right? And once you know it, this fucking kid did it.
Yeah.
He pulled it off. And I pulled off about 10 days in, I was still trying to get off opiates.
So you're not going to rehab.
No, I'm detoxing at home.
You're by yourself.
Yeah, I'm like sleeping in the back. I'm trying to sleep in the back. I didn't sleep for 10 days.
Yeah.
On the 4th.
So you hand over your phone.
My original plan was just to get off the opiates. I did not have any ideas of not smoking weed or doing a little coke here and there. Yeah. That's just like weedies.
So you hand off your business to Pablo.
Donovan.
Mm-hmm. Donovan's running your business. You're at home and you're saying, okay, I got to get off these opiates. And day 1 goes by, no sleep. Day 2, day 5, day 7.
Day 4, okay.
Are you doing other drugs at this
point?
Yeah.
I'm trying everything. I had this drug dealer on McDowell and 84th Street, and he had everything. So I had tried Xanax, I had tried mushrooms. On the 4th night, I thought, I can't sleep, maybe get an 8-ball of cocaine. Maybe I'll just enjoy myself while I'm not sleeping. And in the morning, I had to play Karsten with these Indian dudes that I had become friends with that owned YC's Mongolian bar. Not YC's, the one Yogis.
So you got to golf on a 5-day detox / bender.
And I had an 8-ball of coke the night before.
Are you
and
going
I
to get
shot a 136.
Are you going to get a golf?
I counted every stroke.
And they wanted to kill you.
We had a great time. Actually, no, I was miserable. To be honest with you, it was terrible. But it was a commitment. I did what I said I was going to show up. So I think on like the 6th day, it was a Sunday, and I had a friend that got sober. We grew up together. He got sober, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years before. And I ended up on his back patio. I'm just fucking crying. I'm just bawling because I'm like, I'm defeated. I can't stop, and I know I need to, I know I have to, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there's a meeting tonight, AA meeting. I'm like, oh, fuck this guy out of his fucking AA meetings. Like, I got fucking plans. I got a life here.
Yeah, I got time for this shit.
Can't you see how good things are? He's like, well, let's go get a fucking burrito. So we go to Manuel's, and I just ate for the first time really probably in that week, and it just softened me up enough. He's like, let's go to the meeting. I was like, I go to the meeting, and in the parking lot, there's a lot of nice cars. I didn't expect this. You go in, a lot of young dudes in shape. They were laughing, and they were bright in their eyes, and they were having a great time.
Yeah, you're sick and pissed off. And
oh, my God.
Feeling like a bag of dicks.
Dude, I'm in... There's no feeling like opiate withdrawal. You just can't describe it. Like, I had pneumonia one time, and it was like 10 times, 100 times as bad as pneumonia, and it just persists. Mm-hmm. Like, when you think day 3 is bad, and the 4th is worse, then 5th is worse than 4, you're like, oh my God, I don't know. I might kill myself. Yeah. I mean, there was one night, the night of the coke, I said, this is what's going on, because I felt like I had screaming demons in my head, and I said, okay, I'd never been suicidal, but I said, this has got to be what persists when someone just says it's over.
Yeah.
Fuck it, it's not worth it.
You felt.
I could see suicide as an option.
Sure.
So I go to this meeting, and I'm sitting in there. I see this buddy of mine, Mark Murrow. I don't know if you ever met Mark. He's a big dude, and he was the first guy I was ever on a moving truck with. So I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And he was when he was on the moving truck with me. We did this trip to Grand Tetons delivering this furniture when I was 19, and halfway through it, he had these bag of cherries, and he kept taking shits, like 45-minute shits, like every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Stomach sucks.
Bad stuff. It turns out.
Hard to travel with, but great guy.
By the end of the trip, he's like, dude, he was a fucking heroin addict. He had all these balloons. He's like, never do heroin.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, I would never do that.
Yeah.
You know, here we are.
Stick to meth.
No, that was before.
Okay.
I was just pretty much just potheads, did a little coke.
Yeah.
But I had never really thought about. And now here I am, full circle.
Yeah.
This guy is all freaking ripped. He's got, his legs are mangled because at his bottom, he drove a moving truck, a flat-nosed moving truck into a snowplow in Florida, or in Flagstaff, and almost lost his legs.
That's bad, right?
Real bad.
Yeah.
They look like a shark shoot all the flesh off of them. They're really nasty.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I see Big Mark in there. I was like, dude, you look great. What's going on? He's like, dude, this thing is working. This thing worked. And I was like, I sat in there and I said, okay, I guess I can never smoke weed, drink beer, drink Beam and Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
I got to give it all up because that's this deal. And I just accepted it. And then I said to myself, I am never going to be dope sick again. And that just became like, I was willing to do whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's been like 11 years on May 25th. So like in a week.
Yeah, congrats, dude.
4 days.
So at this point, like, your dad's, do what you say you're going to do. Like, you're telling yourself, I'm done with this shit.
I'm never going to be dope sick again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to feel this way again.
Yeah.
And I just started hanging out with these guys and doing the same shit they do.
Change your crowd.
Changed my crowd, but really adopted this idea that you got to go from, I used to have my little 3-year-old down at the warehouse while I was snorting lines. I was just really selfish.
Yeah.
I was just self-centered, insecure, selfish person. And I had to go from that to a selfless person that is looking for opportunities to help others.
Yeah.
And so now I can fill that hole that I used to fill with drugs with, hey, do some good shit for people.
Yeah.
Because that's how you feel good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the pragmatic AA. That's how I kind of approach AA. Is I go to do my service a couple nights a week. I can be a good example for young guys.
You're Mark.
I'm Mark.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, there's God stuff and there's 12 steps and there's all this fucking 1,000 shits in there. But that's like my thing is I'm going from selfish Derek to selfless Derek.
Yeah, so you get to go now. I mean, 11 years in a couple of days, which I'm proud, bro. I love you. Like, I think we've been friends now for 3 years, and it's like I feel like we've been friends forever. But
I know I saw you at a coffee shop like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
With my buddy Chad.
I think I was hot.
I was like, dude, that guy's so hot, and he's rich. Yeah. And he's got a cool beard.
Yeah. Little did you know.
Little did I know.
Had a cool beard, but that's about it. Yeah. So 11 years in the mix, bro, and you going to AA, which we've traveled together, and I know you pop in and you do this stuff no matter where you're at. This is you turning it around from you needing it to you giving back. That's how is that how your brain's working right now?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah. And so you feel like you're under control, you're safe from demons, but now you have a chance to be that guiding light, or that one story, or you grab somebody from Hong Kong to Phoenix, man. Like you're doing your deal, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being available. I don't go proselytize or shout from the rooftops, but I'm open about the fact that I'm a recovering addict.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of these guys under you as well. Like, I don't know what is it?
I would say
sponsors. You're a sponsor.
I've got 5 or 6 sponsors, but our company has about half of our guys are out of recovery.
Okay.
And that just is natural. I mean, I'm down at the Salvation Army a lot.
And none of this triggers you being around like being around people that are struggling and possibly being around guys that may relapse. That doesn't.
I have to.
You have to be around them.
I have to be around those guys because that's a reminder
of what it's like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see these guys. I got this guy Victor Valley that cannot stop smoking crack. He had a really successful HVAC company for about 8 years when he's sober, like 57 or no, he's 61, and I was his sponsor for a little while. The funniest thing happened. I saw him at a meeting. I was like, "Fucking Victor, you look like you aged 10 years. What's wrong?" He's like, "I fucking smoke crack. You fucking asshole. Why you talking shit to me when I'm down, kicking me when I'm down?" Well, I ended up somehow I end up that night getting him to this Scottsdale Behavioral Health Center.
Right.
And I took him to get a sandwich. I had to return this car that he had rented from some like weird informal place on Apache, like over in Mesa.
Yeah. Hot car.
Yeah, it's just like, and he was like eating the sub and just spitting sub juice all over my new truck. And I was like, dude, you're fucked up. And I need to see that because that's what happens if you stop.
Yeah.
Going to meetings. I mean, all my homies, like, I got a bunch of super close friends. It's not, I got friends that are not sober. I got friends that are business associates. I got my loser friends from high school still. But I got this group that some of them are, nurses and some of them are millionaires.
Yeah, yeah.
But we just are related by this, and I relate to entrepreneurs the same way in a different set of circumstances. Yeah, that's why I like EO.
Yeah, EO's been great for me too, man. So circling back to like the entrepreneurial side of this thing, so you get the invite into Accelerated, you grab it, the competitive drive comes in. All of a sudden now you're deciding to kick this thing and like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna dominate this thing now. And that's that's how I view as a guy who just dominates what he wants to put in front of him, right? Whatever it is, from good times to work times.
Essentially what I want to do is like really build the very best moving company. Yeah. I'm not so concerned with the scalability of the business. I want to have really good balance. I want to spend as much time as I can with my children in this little window from 5 to 15 when they give a shit about me. Mm-hmm. And so I've really leaned on EO to learn how to kind of build and just balance everything so that I can not only like achieve my vision, but I can do it without sacrificing my kids.
Yeah. So when did you join Accelerator?
It's 2000.
Well, you talked about we're
9.
Okay. So we're in 2020 now.
I was an Accelerator for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then I graduated EO, I think in 2003, I think. So I've been in
13.
EO for 7.
Yeah. So 2013, you're in EO. You're cracking $1 million now, and you're acquiring more trucks, or you're buying trucks. You got a bigger warehouse. Like how's that journey go from there?
Yeah. So I had the 1,500 square foot warehouse from 2009 to 2012. Then I was just bursting at the seams, and I figured out about vaulting. There was a 5-year stint that my uncle came and worked for me, who was like a 37-year-old veteran of moving, and he really brought a lot of van line professional systems and operating procedures.
Sure. Stuff you just didn't have naturally.
He was an AA guy too, which was why he had struggled with drugs his whole life, and then he ended up getting high, and I had to fire him. So I had to chop like half my dad's family tree off for like 9 years.
And how did that go internally with the family?
It was fucked up. I mean, I really knew that I did the right thing to protect my business from him, because I grew up my dad saying, Roger is gonna rip you off, he's gonna lie, he's gonna steal, he's gonna use. Because that's what he did. He's still doing it. Yeah. He's 68 years old. He just fucked my dad up. Fucked my dad off on a car my dad had co-signed for him.
Yeah.
So my dad's 75.
And that could have been you.
They're acting like they did when they were 20.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same cycle. I just was like, hey, sorry, this business, you're not gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
He had burned down.
This is my shot.
Yeah, he burned down a truck with one of our clients' desks in the back, driving to Prescott on the side for cash, and that was like the last straw.
In one of your rigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet, bro.
Yeah, I know. So
sweet uncle.
Thanks, Raj.
Yeah,
so,
Raj.
I mean, that worked itself out, and then we had a 10,000 square foot warehouse. We went from 1,500 to 10,000. We were there for 3 years. Bursting at the seams. We moved to 20,000 square feet in 2016 or 17, and then 2014, 15, and then we were there for 3, and then we blew out this new suite. We got 60,000.
Yeah. So now you're at 60,000 square feet. How many trucks?
10 trucks.
10 trucks.
And really, I focus on the warehousing because the warehousing is really profitable compared to. If you're moving stuff, you're breaking stuff, and you're getting injured.
Right.
And you're wearing your guys out.
You got liability, wearing guys down, wearing trucks down, oil changes, 8 tires per truck.
And if it's sitting in a warehouse,
right,
climate controlled,
clock's ticking.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's really the only redeemable quality of any of the moving business is how to get the storage. And I really don't think, because one of the things I do is I'm really curious about other people's moving companies. So anytime I go somewhere, I'm like, I'm gonna call up a mover and try to go fucking check him out because he knows I'm no threat to him.
Yeah.
He likes to brag.
Yeah.
He can't brag to his buddies in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So he gets to have me come out and brag to me. And he showed me their P&Ls. And so I found the moving companies, the best moving companies I found, 15% of the revenue is in storage. I'm like, 15%, that's like nothing, right?
But the margins are just thick.
In that little segment,
Yeah.
they're like 60% net,
Yeah.
right? Because my warehouse, right, like we had so far in this space, our top has been like $85,000 a month, and my rent's $33,000, and I can still park 10, 12 vehicles in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got room for probably another 60% capacity. So that's really profitable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want to do storage. How long do we have?
As long as you want, dude. How long you got?
I mean, how long are people going to listen?
Hey, I got no followers, so we're good.
My son just texted me, if I ever get hungry, can I make eggs or something? Of course you can. So, all right, so the warehousing, I'm starting to be like, okay, this is the deal. So I start like looking, okay, how do I get more storage? So big remodel projects, big home builders, custom home builders.
So you're pivoting out of this truck and dolly moving stuff, and you're trying to find, you're pivoting now, because I know you started another brand too. Are you still running
Plush was a play on storage.
Yep.
So in my quest to find the best moving companies, I found these moving companies were topping out about 15% storage. But I met this guy from Naples, Florida. If you ever want to see what real wealth looks like, go to Naples, Florida, because it's like 10x. Big PV. I mean, their houses, they got little strips of 3 houses. The one closest to the beach is 35,000. The next one up is 25,000. The next one up is 15 million. 35 million, 25 million, 15 million. And guys are buying all 3, scraping the lot and putting a $75 million castle on it, or $100 million. So
because they can.
Yeah. So I was like, holy shit. So I meet the mover that's moving these people in this, I think it's called Port Charles. Mm-hmm. It's a little neighborhood with canals, you put your yacht in the backyard.
Yeah, sounds
just
great.
Buku.
Yeah.
So I meet the mover there, and I was like, I'm gonna come visit him. So I spent, I think, 3 days with him. And he took us fishing. I took Pablo with me. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton Naples, and he basically lifted his skirt. And what I found was, he had a small business. He had
Go ahead.
14 guys, and showed him my vagina.
I'm just always worried about you when skirts get lifted, what you're finding, but that's a different podcast, so stay on.
Both of our problems. I have it on good authority, that's both of our problems.
Stay on track.
So, he essentially had a very small business.
14 employees.
$2 million in revenue out of the Naples branch. The reason he had Naples was because he had a place in New Hampshire, and he did a lot of kind of New England stuff, and all these people were just constantly transferring down to Florida. Right. And he's like, I like the fishing down here. Like, I would never live in Naples, but this dude loves to fish. So
yeah.
Half of it, $1 million that was coming out of this warehouse that he had all decked out, hurricane proof, solar power, generating money, selling it back, and I was like, that's the guy that I gotta copy, because I don't want to try to get 100 movers. That sounds like brain damage.
Sure.
So anyway, he was basically a moving company, but he also had this white glove. It's a logistics arm for interior designers. So a designer will work with architect, home builder, client. They'll design the house. The house will start going under construction, and the designer will go order $1 million worth of furniture.
Things start showing up.
Nothing from restoration hardware.
Right.
Nothing with a delivery service. Nothing with a warehouse. So it all comes in from Long Beach, or shipped in from
Italy,
far off places.
Yeah.
And so then it all has to consolidate somewhere while that house is being built. It has to come early enough because 15% of it is broken, wrong seams,
I don't like it,
wrong buttons, I don't like the color, oh, this doesn't look good. So you have to have time to kind of send it back, get something else. And then once they get the COO, someone's got to come in and take all that furniture, rugs, artwork, lamps, accessories, basically install the home because the homeowner wants to be in it 3 days later.
Yeah.
And be like, oh,
Done. Yeah.
And so everything has to be done deal. But again, here's another situation where you can really, I just took my competitors from 200 moving guys to there's like 6 in town. Like 3 or 4 really good ones. And they're not in the business because they're not good.
Right.
They're in the business because they're the very, very best.
Sure.
So I spent like a year and a half kind of studying it, figuring it out, and now we're in our 3rd year, and it's going well. It's not like a rocket ship type deal.
Sure.
But guess where my storage is in that business? So in my moving business, I've gotten it to 25% of my revenues coming from storage.
Oh,
so
good.
I've beat everybody I've ever seen in the traditional moving and storage in my moving storage division.
And that's your highest revenue stream. Your most profitable revenue stream.
Yeah, so moving labor, I think last month was 150,000 and my storage revenue was like 72. So I'm like 50% if you don't count like some of these other ancillary income streams. So, but plush is like 65% storage. So the stuff just comes in. I've already got warehouse guys paid. They're already on salary. They're already there. And then we're just hauling stuff off of tractor trailers. We're inspecting it. We had to build some software for it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to please some of these designers.
The top of the top, yeah.
But we're, we develop relations with pro athletes and this creme de la creme, and they're just they're not asking me how much is this going to cost.
Right. They just want it done right.
For $50,000, and they're like, okay, cool, it went well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're headed, is to kind of keep growing that piece, kind of have a healthy, like a little 5% growth on my moving business, but really try to grow the storage piece.
Yeah.
Because there's just stuff that accumulates. People have stuff in storage for years and years and years.
For sure, yeah. And the longer it sits on the clock, the better it is for you, right? So what are you doing now, man? So you got the business up and running. I mean, obviously way more than running. You got 60,000 square feet. You got the 10 trucks. You got the 2 businesses. You're working with designers, building that business up. And you're such a give back guy. Like you're so open, and you're always about sharing and giving back. Like what's your grind right now? You always seem to be shooting some sort of angle.
I like trying to get my middle management team is all movers. 2 of them are Salvation Army guys.
What does that mean?
They went to the Salvation Army to get clean.
Oh, gotcha.
3 of them are sober, and we're all good friends. And they don't have the same skill set as what a middle management in their position is.
Right.
So I'm trying to work with them to develop into what I need there, as opposed to these guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
See ya. So developing my management team, spending time with my kids and developing those are my most important sponsees.
Yeah.
Right. I just want them to be good human beings.
Yeah.
I want them to be nice. I want them to be giving and generous and sharing, and I want them to just not be assholes.
Yeah.
And I really look to mentor service businesses. So anybody that's got a pool company, cleaning, those are the businesses I can relate to.
Yeah. Are you mentoring some accelerators now?
Yeah, I've done the formal mentorship program like 5 years in a row. I've had my own accountability groups like 3 out of the last 7 years. I'm gonna do one this year. I get super pumped. I get more pumped about my buddy's pool company that I spent like 3-4 years. He was at the front cashier at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
He gets sober. He's there 4 years later. I'm like, dude, pool company. I still want him to get a bunch of rubber ducks, put his freaking pool company in, and just look at Google Maps and just drop them in every pool. Because I live in Tempe, we have alleys.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? Maybe you just put some blow-up dildos in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to get the attention of the housewife that's at home while her husband's at work, throw dildos in the
big
pool.
purple one.
Yeah, it says Paul Dempsey Pool.
Yeah.
Service your pool.
And he hasn't taken that
anything
idea.
else that you need.
The hottest pool guy around.
Exactly. But he hasn't done any of that. But he has started his pool company. He's got 100 pools. He's going to make $130,000 this year.
Good for him.
So I really like that really early stage where all you got to do is knock enough doors, ask enough people, talk to enough people, and you can go from nothing to something. The something to a billion, not really super interesting to me, but becoming the super very best moving company in town, I can't do that and become the biggest at the same time. There's no freaking way. So it's just all polish, training, you know, detail, white glove, like how do you walk through the door? How do you be a gentleman? How do you do, what if a Ritz-Carlton did moving services? What would that look like?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I'm at right now, and also being able to travel. Like I have a goal, I want to spend a month in like an Airbnb in LA this year.
Yeah.
Because I've never done it. I hope they open the beach, but
yeah.
I got a buddy in Long Beach.
Are you trying to go out this summer?
Mm-hmm.
What, do you know what month you're aiming for?
Whenever they open.
Yeah.
As soon as they open.
Yeah, I got my deposits in Newport Beach, and she's like,
well, I was looking at Seal Beach.
Is that close?
To Newport? Yeah. It's like Long Beach, then there's Seal Beach, and then there's Newport, and then there's Huntington, and then.
So Lauren Howard's out there for the month of July. I piggyback on a week with him and his family. He's got his whole like 40 Lauren Howards running around. Young, old, small, tall. LaProds. It is the LaProd side. You got
they're interesting.
They're great, dude. Yeah.
I moved his mom.
Lauren's coming out. Lauren's doing the podcast next Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So last year we went out. I took my kids out. We had a place in Malibu, or not a place. We had a place in Santa Monica, off the beach, and we rolled through Newport to say what's up to Lauren. And they're having so much fun as a family. And I don't have a strong family connection. I came from Yuma. Most of my family's down there. But even then, I was kind of always on my own, doing my own thing. And all of a sudden, I'm like, the sense of family connection. Like they're inviting me to their houses. Everybody's cooking. Everybody's got, hey, it's for my first day there. Like you're responsible for the chicken tonight. I'm like, for all of you, the broads. Like, all right. And the one of the landlords had somebody cancel last minute. We just rented it, hopped in there, and we just did their family vacation with him for a week. And so I'll be out there for a week. He'll be out there for 3 or 4 weeks. He just had a new kid.
But July sounds great. It's going to be horrible here.
Yeah, I'll shoot you the dates.
Yeah. So I was just looking at Airbnb. So yeah, I'll be right in that mix. I want to be close enough to Long Beach, so Seal Beach looks like, because I want to take my kids like to surf.
Yeah.
I took my dad, who hadn't been on vacation for maybe 15, maybe 20 years. Yeah. Since he screamed at my mother and got out of the car and sat in the car in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Done with this shit.
That might have been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's not a traveler, but he had a great time. We stayed at the Lowe's in Santa Monica.
You're so high dollar now. Look at your Ritz, the Lowe's.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And you know where the Jungle Gym is?
Oh, yeah.
It's right there. And my dad had a blast. He's like, I feel like a bum. He works for me.
Yeah.
I think I pay him $1,500 a month, and he's like a hard worker. So anyway, that's one of the things I want to do this summer is just spend. If I can't do a month, a week would be great.
Yeah. You can do a month.
Probably.
Well, cool, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, dude.
Thank you.
You're definitely one of my favorite human beings. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Now you know the whole story.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had. I mean, not the whole story. We've left out all the grimy details.
Yeah. I know some of the more grimy details, which I enjoy personally. But no, I appreciate you, man. You're one of my favorite people in the world, and cool. I appreciate all the time I get to spend.
Without a shake hands.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Love you, brother.
All right,
appreciate you.